statistically speaking, two-parent households do way better than single-parent households.
Great.
If you look at the United States in the 1950s and the 60s, right, before feminism came, where you had the traditional nuclear family where they were able to have one income support the entire family, well, the economy was at its strongest because the labor market was strong, they were paying people good wages, etc. But after feminism came in the 1960s, what they were able to do was decrease the cost of labor, because now you have 2 times as many people in the workforce. They increased the price of homes, they increased the price of common goods, and then feminism was kind of a finesse where they were able to increase the cost of living because women wanted to be single and independent, which is cool, but in reality, we know that the economy is strongest when there's one breadwinner and a nuclear family. The nuclear families are dying now. There's more single mothers now than ever before, and single mothers are the leading cause of all the degenerates in society.
Economics 101. And look, he hasn't even talked about wholeflation, which could be a good thesis to get a Nobel Prize. Anyway, the reality is that the strong and independent women narrative has destroyed society on all levels, and one of the multiple byproducts of it is, the single mother household that results in around 70% of men serving in jail. Let's check some comments. You need to understand that people criticizing single motherhood are not trash-talking single mothers. They're highlighting the importance of having a mother and a father. They gave you the right to work not because they love you, they did it so they could tax you. My sister got so pissed at me when I said the only reason the government pushes the single woman is because that's more tax revenue. No wonder why men don't want to deal with single moms. Here's what men really want.
For me, finances wise, it's pretty low priority for me. Honestly, don't really care. She could work at Chick-fil-A, hook it up, get me some chicken tenders. I don't care. I really don't care. She doesn't need to match me socioeconomically. Doesn't bother me at all. So
I think most guys prioritize beauty, fertility, youth, femininity over success and
low
ambition.
body count. That's another one.
Some guys don't care about that. A lot of guys care about that.
Yeah.
But I think those guys mainly prioritize those things over ambition and financial success in women.
Why do you think that is?
Because
what's the disconnect? Because I think that women value ambition and success way higher than looks and that youngness, youth, whatever. So what do you think the disconnect is? The difference.
So I would say that there are all sorts of asymmetries between what men and women find attractive. So for example, men don't care so much about a woman's height. They certainly don't care if, I would say most men don't have a preference for a female partner being taller than them, but I would say most women have a preference for their male partner being taller than them. So that's an asymmetry there in terms of what men and women find attractive. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you another one.
Can I answer her question? I don't think you answered it directly enough. To be honest.
I'm kind of getting at it, right?
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Go ahead.
Well, so what your question is, why?
So my question is, why do men, okay, I guess it's just it's weird for me because I just value ambition and just kind of having goals and just being a really driven person as a huge priority to me. And you basically said that is not a priority to men.
No.
And I'm just curious as to why. And then I also have a second question.
So I have a very direct and simple answer to this question.
Perfect.
So I think when you have a guy that's ambitious and he's confident and he's getting after it in life, that kind of subconsciously signals to women this guy's probably going to be successful. Mm-hmm. If a guy that you're with is going to be successful, I think there's deep in your brain a part of you that realizes, okay, if I build a family with this guy, he's going to be able to provide for me and probably going to be able to protect me, right? Whereas guys, I'm not looking at a woman thinking, okay, is she going to be able to provide for me and protect me? I look at a woman and I'm is she going to be able to carry my kids? Can I, have a bunch of kids with her? Is she going to have healthy pregnancies?
Is she going to be loyal to me?
Is she going to be loyal to me?
Huge.
And I think when a woman gets pregnant, people talk about this with evolutionary psychology, right? If a woman gets pregnant, throughout a lot of history, that would be like a very vulnerable position to be in, right? Like if you're gonna get pregnant, you're gonna have a baby in your belly. If there's a predator, you're gonna be slower to get away from it. You're gonna need resources to sustain that pregnancy, right? And so you need to know, okay, my guy's gonna be able to provide for me, right? And if he's a guy who's like, you know, he's gonna be successful, you're gonna have a lot of confidence in that guy, right? Like
So-
that's attractive to you.
I have, for my second question, I'm actually genuinely just like really curious,
Yeah.
like genuinely, because I've never really had this conversation with guys. What percentage of guys do you guys think the same as you, in the sense of like, you guys aren't as attracted to like the boss woman, like whatever, like go getter,
It's a really good
independent,
question.
you
It's
know
a
what I
really
mean?
good
Because I
question.
was thinking about it and I was like, I actually have no idea like what men think about this.
Okay, most guys, they will literally, their opinion will be based solely off of what they think will get women to sleep with them. That is the vast majority of men, I swear. That is it. So as far as like men's opinions, say what you're saying exactly. Jen.
Men. So I'm not talking about like hooking up, and I'm talking about like in a relationship with
Yeah.
a woman that you want to get married to. What is the predominant thinking with men? Like, what do men think? Like, what does the majority of men think about like a woman that's like, you know, independent, makes her own money, doesn't really think about like, you know, the man being the
Well, as far as finances go, it's very low priority. Of course, we don't want a woman who's got like $300,000 of debt, but
right.
we really don't.
It's
care.
youth and fertility. Biologically speaking,
Low body
almost
count.
all dudes. Low body count is very
Fertility,
important for a lot
youth.
of guys too. But youth and fertility, like this,
Femininity.
This is
Yep.
why like tits and ass are so huge to guys, right? Like it's such a big priority for guys because
Not fake ones though.
yeah, not
True.
like so many guys are attracted to a girl with, I think, in my opinion, so many guys are attracted to women with big boobs and big butts because it signals fertility, right? And like I think it's
Small
not something-
boob, solidarity.
it's not something we like consciously think about. Like it's just our biology. Like when we see a woman with those things, we just like our body knows, okay, she can make kids for us. And I think we're like hardwired for that, you know?
Same thing with women, like in like tall jack dudes. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
And that's not to say obviously that guys don't like women without big boobs or a big butt, but it's just like just our biological programming. And I think most guys, probably 90% plus of dudes, like they look at a woman's youth and her beauty and like that's what they immediately judge. And the financial success, ambition, that comes second.
Comes after.
Morals,
Comes after.
I'd definitely say that like men will look at morals as well, along
Okay.
with femininity and beauty, fertility.
And I think like as you guys are mostly 20, right?
Yeah.
Like I think as you guys get into your mid 20s and stuff, like right now you're probably looking at dudes and you like the confident, energetic, like tall, handsome guys. But as you guys get into your mid 20s, you're probably going to really place a premium on like, okay, is this guy going somewhere in life? Because if you see a guy who's going somewhere in life, that's going to be very attractive to you guys.
I have a question for you. You say that like you're attracted to like youth and femininity. Do you think that means that like after your wife turns like 35, like you're not going to be attracted to her anymore because she's not going to be considered young and feminine?
That's a good question. So I think for a lot of guys, that's the case. I was telling them last time, this is a pattern that I've noticed with the older dudes at my gym who are all divorced. Like a lot of these guys, like they started, you know, they married women that they started having sex with very quickly, and then once they got into their late 30s and into their 40s, they realized there's nothing really there beyond the physical attraction, and a lot of these dudes got divorced. For me, like, yeah, I want a wife who I'm physically attracted to, but like I want a wife who I have a really deep connection to, because I want to be cracking jokes with her on my porch when we're in our 70s, you know? Like I want to be talking about like books and movies and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people get into relationships where it's just purely based on the physical attraction, and that fizzles out after you're out of your 30s for a lot of people, you know? And so for a lot of guys, that's the case, but I think if you carefully pick your partner, you know,
and
it
have a
won't be
strong
the case.
connection with them, then
Yeah.
like the attractiveness wouldn't matter when you are 35. Because also like we both men and women age, right? So you have to be able to have that deep emotional connection so you
Yeah.
can continue a long relationship. Okay.
Exactly.
I got it.
And I think like if you find a great guy who you build a family with, like that love is going to evolve and transform, right? Like when you guys first meet, if you meet in your 20s, he's going to be really attracted to your physical beauty and all that stuff. But if you guys have kids together and you guys grow with one another, that love is going to transform from just being physical attraction into like, you guys have built a life with one another. You care about each other as individuals, and like you guys have raised kids into human being adults, you know, together. And like that's where you can build a lot more love off of. And I think that's what sustains people over the long run, you know?
I think though too that a lot of guys, you know, that would say be in their early like to mid 30s or so, they would, you know, try to look for a woman that's in her, you know, it's like, you know, 23 to like 26 or so, just because they've had more time to build themselves up, like as a man, get more resources, get more income, all that stuff, and then have like some of this, you know, younger and like more beautiful. Because I mean, there's no shortage of women that are like 35-year-old like wine drinking dog moms, you know, that just like hate everybody and say like, you know, absolute all men are just this, that way and the other, just because they've like warded off every single man, and then their beauty's kind of fading versus somebody that's, you know, younger and, you know, more fertile.
And on that point too, Couch Potato Farm said if a woman stays disciplined, eating well and exercising, women will be attractive at all ages. That is like such an important point. There are like so many women out there. There's so many women out there who take like really good care of themselves. They eat the right foods. They stay on top of their exercise, and they are hot into their like 40s and 50s. And there's also
You mean
a lot
a
of women.
MILF? You could call them.
Oh yeah. I grew up in San Diego. There's a ton of those.
Yeah.
It just speaks, I mean, for you know, both genders, is like if you treat yourself like shit and you're just out just drinking fucking seltzers and like that's your hobby and just going out partying, all that stuff, you're gonna age way quicker than somebody who actually eats clean, takes care of their health, exercises. Like that goes for both men and women, like no doubt.
I have a follow-up question. If fertility is so important, would you not pursue someone who you click with on any other level or on every other level if they're infertile? Not because of their actions or drugs or alcohol, but they were born infertile. Would you not pursue them because of that?
It's a good question.
Well,
Jess.
if you, I guess it depends. If you want kids, that's probably a pretty big deal breaker. So it's just a non-starter if you want kids. But if a guy is open to not having kids, then
so
that's actually probably a good thing.
But can't you have kids in other ways?
no.
He doesn't care because he's not really looking. This is kind of scary. Any man looking for a partner should want to know about these things. Most guys care about finances in one regard. They don't want her to have a mountain of debt. We don't care if she makes money as long as she doesn't come with a fucking anchor tied to her leg. Simple as that. Let's check some comments. 1. Low body count, preferably 0 and non-promiscuity. 2. Loyalty/trustworthiness. 3. Femininity/youth/beauty/class. We're in a time where women do not understand men's needs or wants at all. Not only do they not understand it, it's as though they never even considered men don't want the same things they want. It's baffling. When men have a conversation with their boys talking about meeting a new girl or getting in a relationship, the first question they ask is, what does she look like? And roles reverse, the first question your girlfriends ask is, what does he do for work? Okay, so we've talked about what men want, but what don't they want? The answer is simple.
Ladies, stop being delusional. Even if you're 30 plus and have the best plastic surgery, work out, eat healthy, and do everything possible, your body/uterus isn't young anymore.
Yeah.
High value men want a legacy with a worthy woman, and if you can't give that, we don't want you.
Right. Agreed. Agreed.
Agreed.
Do you have something to say to that? Go ahead.
No, I don't have nothing to say.
I just don't get it. It's like men don't want hoes.
Super disappointed.
Yeah.
You guys don't want hoes.
Yeah.
But you guys will fuck a hoe that's been ran through.
Yeah.
And you will fuck up your whole family for a hoe.
You're missing the point here. The hoe doesn't have the relationship.
Yeah, but what if your woman just leaves and you just messed that up for a hoe that's been ran through?
Well, this is why we tell guys to be honest. But again, this is why women got to put their ego aside and understand that men are always going to want to have sex with other girls.
I feel like those are men that are just like, no offense, but I think that those are like the general, like the basics. Most of us, we will always go for the exception, of course, because you don't want
And what is the
what's
exception?
everything around
Define
there.
the exception, man.
And to be honest,
Define the
if you
exceptional man.
Can you let me talk?
Well, we got to understand what we're talking about
To
and
be
have a foundation.
honest, even if you watch the news, you will see how the Miss Universe killed herself when she turned 30 years old for men like you and for men like the followers that talk like that about women. I think if you're rich and successful and you like the woman, you don't even care. You would not care about anything. Even one of your favorite, the Colombian singer Shakira, their husband, 10 years younger. You know, you don't care. When you're in love, you don't care if the person is younger, older, whatever. You just go, and that's it. But you cannot make that is like a statement, like a guy goes out there and says, you need to be between 18 and 23.
Nobody
and
said
this
that.
and that and this and that. You said most of the guys prefer that. And I
Yes.
can tell
Then
you
most
that,
of the guys are tough.
I don't think that is true.
I mean, it's literally
I
a
agree
fact.
with the fact
You don't
that
think-
older
It's a
men
fact.
like younger women, 100%.
Yes, 18 to 24 is that range.
You know, 100%.
Okay.
But, you know, that's not the majority. There are certain ages. I think if you're successful at 30, you're not going to marry someone that's 18.
So
You know?
True.
You
Bro,
think?
what the hell?
You think?
Like, we literally stated a fact. Women are most attracted to men between 18 to 24. That is a fact. You refuse to accept the fact, and you think, well, I think and I feel like, well, we know that this is what it is. I mean,
For that type of man.
if I tell you money
On
between...
statistics don't have the exception, don't have the people that stand out from the crowds, don't have that
You
stuff.
can't make an argument for an exception to the rule. You can't make an exception for the 1%.
Modern women are, to say the least, delusional. They're all about feelings and exceptions, and even have the audacity to say that they're the exception as well. Why? They don't even know how exceptional they are, especially when all they offer is a pair of titties and some pussy.
If a majority want this, you can't make an argument for the 1%. That's statistically insignificant, which means it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all.
And when you said exceptional men, please define these exceptional men so we're on the same page here.
I
What's
know
an
a lot of
exceptional
men
man?
that are successful and they are even dating some of my friends. Like,
Uh-huh. And you
for
think they're
example-
faithful to those women?
Yes, until I mean, yeah. Even if you're not, let's say they are not, we don't know about that. She doesn't know about that. Some things, I'm not
Which
saying it's
proves my
okay to
point.
cheat. I'm not saying it's okay to cheat, but respect is really important. And you're not gonna go around there just
Yeah.
looking to every woman because she's younger or because she has a butt or whatever. Respect is really important.
Do you not? Did you
And
not
if
just
you're happy
catch?
and satisfied
This
and
is
pleased
You just
by
contradicted
your
yourself.
woman, you wanted this woman.
You just
No one
contradicted
forced
yourself.
it. She did. I don't force any guy. She didn't force any guy. He's with her because
Listen, if you don't want to be
if
here,
he cheats,
you can go. It's fine.
No, it's the I was listening to the ranting. And it was-
I don't know about that. And you said earlier I'm going to go to sleep and stuff. So like, it's cool. If
when
you
did
don't
I
want,
say that?
I heard it earlier.
I didn't.
I was listening very closely when Miss Columbia was speaking. That's
No,
why I
that
asked you to
was
repeat
me.
yourself.
That was
Miss
me.
Konomi.
Because she was going in, and I was just like, I'm ready to go to sleep. That was me.
Okay. What were you saying?
So basically, what I'm saying, if you get the girl, it's your problem. No one forced you. No one forced you to do that. You don't have to marry someone or live together with someone. So the minimum you can do is just chill and respect.
Do you not understand that you contradicted yourself a second ago?
But I'm trying to tell you, okay, when did I contradict myself?
Because I said, define an exceptional man. You said a guy that has money and is successful. I was like, cool. Those guys aren't, you think those guys are faithful? And you said, yes, some of them date my friends. And I think you really think that they're faithful to your
think they
girlfriend list.
are.
And I'm telling
I
you, they're
think they
more than
are.
likely,
Me,
high
I have
likelihood, no.
24 years old.
And then you
I
said,
think
yo. and
I've
then-
been in 4 relationships. I cannot tell you that one of my relationships I broken up because I knew that he cheated on me. It's been for
proves my point
miscommunication,
again.
distance, so many things. And there's no way that someone had told me, oh, he maybe cheated. He was talking to this girl or this or that. I saw respect.
Do you realize that you're proving my point even more?
Sadly, she will never realize that. Her narrative will always prevail over facts that have been tried and tested through history. Let's check some comments. They're missing the point. Point is that women want top-tier men, and if they want a faithful man, they're going to need to find a regular working-class man. End of story. I'm blue collar, 5'8", fairly average fella, and I wouldn't cheat. But a lot of women unfortunately scoff at average faithful men. That's why I really don't blame these dudes that make it to the top. Y'all earn the right to enjoy yourselves and go crazy. Hypergamy is really a double-edged sword for women, lol. Guys, thanks for checking out this video. Stay tuned for more daily content. Like, subscribe, and comment. See you in the next video, guys. Till next time.